Good morning, grade 7. I'm just waiting for everybody to join and then we're going to get started, okay? Okay, now that we have a total of 18 people in our meeting, I'm sure that more people will join later. Today, according to our weekly plan, we are scheduled to, let me share the screen with you guys. Today, we're scheduled to work on Lucy Stone. All right, today, this term, my goal was for you guys to receive or to read two types of dramas. Okay, we finished our first drama for the term, and this was A Christmas Carol. All right, and I wanted you guys to also experience what we call a drama. Okay, and this is also a type of play. Remember, the word drama we said is a play that is meant to be performed on stage. Okay, so that being said, today we're going to start working on the next drama that we're scheduled to learn about, and that is called Lucy Stone. Okay, so if you guys look on your SMS, you guys will see that I posted a Lucy Stone
Yes, we
background
can't hear you.
presentation. Do you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so I've posted a Lucy Stone presentation on on SMS. Okay, and I'm gonna share it with you guys, and we're gonna discuss it together. All right. So again, the drama that we're gonna be reading this for the upcoming 2 weeks until the term is over is called Lucy Stone. She's the champion of women rights. Okay, she was born and raised during a time period where women were not getting their full rights. Okay, women were being discriminated against. Okay, for their gender, Okay, so as a female, you were not allowed to attend school past a certain level. All right, women were not allowed to vote. They were also not allowed to um, do a lot of things. Okay, they were only expected. They couldn't own property. Like for example, you can't have your own house, all right, or your own vehicle. Okay, you couldn't even vote for a president or for electric, or voting. All right, for presidents and stuff like that. So women were highly disadvantaged. Okay, what? Please, you have a question?
Yeah, is this a similar story to Rosa Parks?
Rosa Parks, yes, she was a female, a very strong one. But however, Rosa Parks did stand up, but she stood up for racism against African Americans. You're right. She did stand up for that. But here, Lucy Stone, we're gonna see that she stood up for herself, okay, and for women rights in general, not for African American rights, but for women rights. She was born in Massachusetts in 1818. During that time, women did not have the same rights as men. They were not allowed to vote or own property, and most importantly, they were not able to attend college. And this play centers around the conflict that Lucy Stone had to go through with her father. Okay, because remember, back then men are in control of the family. All right, they were the patriarchs. Okay, or this is one of your vocab words that we're going to take, that when a man is in charge of his family and in control of the family, and he nothing can happen without the man's approval. Okay, so this is the struggle that Lucy had to go through. Okay, and this is basically the struggle that she had to live through. However, she was able to break through it, and we're gonna see that from the play. All right, Lucy had a very strong attitude. She was known for her determination, and she had a vision. She wanted to change. Okay, she was not happy with her life. Okay, she wasn't satisfied with the rules that her family imposed on her. Okay, so they always or she always wanted to cause a rebellion. All right, she was rebellious, and this is an adjective that we can use to describe her. This is a character trait. If you guys and we all know what character traits are, adjectives that describe a personality. Okay, so she was considered to be a very rebellious female. Okay, and she wanted to fight for women's rights, and most importantly, she was determined to attend college. Okay, she wanted to receive a higher education, and she fought for that. Okay, she fought for that, and she wanted to make sure that it happens. Okay, so that being said, we now understand her life. Now, when she grew up and she became an adult, um, Lucy Lucy Stone had a lot of achievements. Okay, and we're gonna discuss them at the end of the play. All right, she married a man named Henry Blackwell. He is an anti-slavery activist. So Henry himself also is a rebel. All right, so she married someone that shared the same interest as her in terms of they both were looking for change, and they didn't settle for injustice. Okay, so he fought. Henry himself, her husband, fought for slavery to be abolished or to be canceled. Okay, when she married Henry Blackwell, in America till this day, it is very accepted for a female to take the last name of her husband. Okay, so she would be known as Lucy Blackwell. Okay, because again she married Henry Blackwell, and she would assume or take over his last name. However, Lucy Stone refused. Okay, she thought to herself that she had her own identity, and it goes back to the idea of this is her name, and this is her own personal identity, and she would like to keep it. All right, so she should not take over the name of her husband. Okay, and during that time it was very radical, it was a crazy choice to make, and she did it. Okay, one of her biggest achievements is that she created this organization called the American Women's Suffrage Association. And many women joined this association, and the aim of this organization was to fight for women's right to vote. Okay, that was one of their main goals. They felt that the voice of women needed to be heard and expressed. Okay, so they fought for women's right to be heard, and they were successful in achieving that. Okay, now the first thing that I want you to understand is that we're reading a historical drama. It's different than A Christmas Carol. A Christmas Carol was more for entertainment and for fun. Okay, this is more historical. That means it really it's something that really did take place in history. Okay, so the events of the play even take place in the older days. Okay, it's not something that is new. Okay, because remember, the word history helps us understand that the events are some events that took place in the past during the 1800s. Okay, and also A Christmas Carol was referring to some type of historical history from how London was during that time of the 1800s as well. Okay, so this one, however, it's more historical because the characters in the play are actually real figures. Okay, Lucy Stone is an actual human. She's a person from history. If we try to Google her, we're gonna get lots of information about her. So this play is dedicated to her life and to the history of her life. Okay, so this is what makes her story significant. All right, so again, the playwright or the person that wrote the play. Okay, we're gonna look here. Lucy Stone is a this is the play, and it's written by, or the playwright is Claire Boyko. Okay, and she transferred Lucy Stone's life into a play to teach people and to teach young boys and girls about the history of Lucy Stone and how significant she was to improve the life of women. Okay, overall. All right. So I need you to understand that the characters that you will meet, all right, these cast of characters that we mentioned, okay, um, they are actual real. They're real people. All right. Henry Blackwell here, we see him as a character in the play, but we already know that he is Lucy Stone's husband. All right, in real life. Okay. Sarah is Lucy's sister. Luther, Rhonda, and Eliza. All right. All of these people are real siblings. Okay. And Bowman. All right. These are actual siblings for Lucy Stone. All right. Aunt Sally is her aunt. Lucy Stone herself, in the play, is 16 years old. Okay. She's at the age um, very close to attending university. Francis Stone is her father, and Hannah Stone is her mom. And we have two narrators in the story, two women, and a man. And they appear in the beginning of the play, and we're gonna discuss them here, and understand the purpose behind them. Okay, because these two men, the two women narrators and the man narrator, they serve a purpose in the play, and that we're gonna understand their significance later on when we read. Okay, this part right here that I'm shading, can someone tell me using our dramatic devices, what is this called? And tell me, how could you tell that this is what it is? So this area that I have highlighted here, what is this area referred to in a play? Is it dialogue? What is it? Who could tell me what this area is called? Adam Wassel, can you help me identify this area here? What would it be? Adam, any volunteers? Is it dialogue? Remember our dramatic devices, guys, that we took and we discussed how the appearance of each one would look like? What would this part or this area be in this shaded area? What would you call it? Ahmad Sabir?
Yes. Yes.
Yes?
What shaded area?
You guys, I'm sharing the screen with you and I have this area right here highlighted.
Prologue?
It's not necessarily the prologue, but what is it? Look at it. How is it written? Is it bolded? Is it italicized? What do you think it is?
Miss, can I say it?
What, please?
The narration.
It's the narration, but what do we call it? It tells us the setting and how people look on stage.
Oh, stage
Stage
direction.
directions?
Good job. It's the stage directions. Okay, so these are stage directions, and we can tell there are stage directions because again they are italicized. They're not in parentheses because they're in the beginning, right? They're not later in the play inserted between the dialogue, and that's why there's no parentheses around them. However, they're still stage directions. And can someone just remind me quickly, what are some things that the stage directions provide? What directions tell us? Genna, can you give us one, please? Genna, what do stage directions give us or provide for us? What do they help us understand? Oh, I'm sorry, Genna, your mic is broken. Okay. Can somebody help me? How about Jumana, Jojo? Can you please tell me what do stage directions give us or what do they help us understand in a play? Okay, let's go with can Mark? All right, Warda, please can you help me identify the purpose of stage directions?
No, miss, I
Uh,
am here.
Oh, okay, Mark, please tell me.
Um, I don't know.
Okay. Thank you, Mark. What? Please.
it tells the actors on a stage or a play how to move and how to do what they're supposed to do.
Okay, good. All right. So the first thing that we know that it tells the characters in the play how to move on stage, okay, or how to go, how to say their lines, and also it helps us identify the setting of the play, okay. And like we said earlier, the setting of the play is again the same as the one from A Christmas Carol. It was in the early 1800s, okay, but this time we're in the United States, in the state of Massachusetts, where Lucy Stone was born. Okay. Another thing that we need to add on and to our knowledge is that not only that the characters are based on real figures, that the conflict or maybe some of the personal life details for Lucy Stone are also based on true events. However, the dialogue in the playwright that the playwright has created is not necessarily true. Again, because there's no way for the know what kind of dialogue took place between Lucy and her parents. However, the dialogue is made up by the playwright, but the conflict is real, and also the life details that are presented in it and the conflicts are real because, again, it's something that actually took place in history. All right. The details in the dialogue help explain the time that Lucy Stone lived in. All right. So we're gonna see that this is an old mindset. Okay. And also an old lifestyle. It's not something that is modern at all. Right. I had mentioned earlier in a previous, but you guys have not done it yet. So I'm gonna assign it today for homework. If you guys look at the weekly plan for today, you guys will see the homework for Monday is to refer to Lucy Stone PowerPoint and go to the last slide. This is the last slide of the PowerPoint, and you have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven different topics. Okay, that you can choose one topic from them, and you're supposed to get or to conduct a small research. Okay, if you guys read the weekly plan, um, it says here to refer to the Lucy Stone PowerPoint for the last slide, the one that we're on, and to pick a topic that I've mentioned. I have 7 topics listed, so you're going to choose one of the topics, and you're going to write one paragraph discussing the topic of your choice. And I need you guys to give me the paragraph or submit the paragraph by tomorrow. Okay, so this is something that I need you to do tonight. Some of you guys, maybe 1 or 2 people have done it. If you have done it, you don't have to do it. You could just worry about grammar for homework. Uh, and if you have not done it, please do it tonight. All right. So if we go back to the PowerPoint
Miss, where do we
presentation,
send you the paragraph?
you can send me the paragraph on Messenger or by email. Either one
Miss,
is acceptable.
paragraph of the novel.
This is not the paragraph about the novel. We're not discussing the novel right now. We're discussing Lucy Stone and the research topics that are presented on the last slide. Okay, this is the PowerPoint.
Miss, Miss, I sent it for you. Your as a rough draft. Do I send also the original essay?
Muhammad, are you discussing the research topics that I'm discussing right now, or are you discussing something different?
No, I want just to ask. Do I send the original essay for the novel?
The comparison essay?
Yes.
The
Not the
comparison
rough draft.
essay, the rough draft is due Saturday on the 16th. And you're supposed to either send it to me on Messenger or by email.
Okay.
Okay, but before you do that, you have to have send me your point by point breakdown, like the one that I did yesterday. None of you guys sent me this already. Yeah, I asked you guys to give me a breakdown of your essay point by point, like I did yesterday. Whether you're gonna use the alternating form or whether you're going to use the block form. And I posted the notes for you on SMS. You guys are supposed to sit and break down your essay into an introduction, and the body and the conclusion. And tell me if you're using the alternating method, how is it going to be used, and what are the points of comparison that you're going to mention in your essay, if you're using alternating or you're using the block form. None of you guys have done that. So if you sent me your rough draft on Saturday before you send me the point by point breakdown, I'm not going to accept it. So for you guys that didn't submit anything, which is the whole class, because I didn't get anything point by point from anyone. I did get Venn diagrams. Okay, I did get the characterization sheet for your character, but I did not get the point by point breakdown. So please get that done. For your homework tonight, back to Lucy Stone, which is the play that we're reading now. Okay, you guys are required to pick one of these bullets and research it, and give me one paragraph information about it. They're all related to Lucy Stone. Okay, the last one here is Oberlin College, and this is a very interesting one because this is the university or the college in Massachusetts that Lucy Stone ended up going to. And this is the first university to actually accept women attendees. Okay, so this is actually a very important part of the research. So again, for your homework tonight, you are required to pick a topic from these bullets. Each bullet is a topic. Okay, they are about, like I said, 7 topics listed in front of you. So you're going to pick one only and discuss the details about it in one paragraph. And this paragraph has to be submitted tonight. Okay, or sorry, by tomorrow. Okay, so far 2 things that needed to be submitted: your point by point paragraph breakdown of your comparison essay, and the second thing that we need to break down is to give me is the paragraph research for any of the following points about Lucy Stone's life. Any questions about anything that we just said today about Lucy
No.
Stone? Okay. All right. So, that being said, this PowerPoint is also on SMS in case you need to, view it later, or analyze it or choose your topic. Okay. You'll find Lucy Stone introduction PowerPoint on SMS. All right. To refer back to the slide so that you can choose your topic for research and write one paragraph. And remember, a paragraph is from a minimum of 6 lines typed, okay, on the computer. If you're going to write it, then you need to double the amount. Okay, so it should be 12 lines written and 6 lines typed. Okay, so if you're gonna type it, 6 lines is the minimum typed, and if you're going to handwrite it, you're gonna have to double that amount, which is 12 lines. Okay, and make sure that you write all the details that are interesting to you, and remember to write in your own words. Do not copy and paste from the internet, because anything copied and pasted will receive a 0. Okay, so read and summarize the words into your own words and tell me what you understand, not what's written on the internet. That's very important. Okay, now if we start to open up Lucy Stone, I need you guys to follow either with me on the screen or have your books, your literature books, or your tablets open to page 834. We're gonna start here again. This is a play about Lucy Stone. It's a historical drama. That means it occurred in the past. The characters are real. The events are based on true conflicts. However, the dialogue is made up by the playwright, which is Claire, who is Claire Boyko. Okay, she is the playwright. Excuse me. Okay, so that being said, we're going to start out with the stage directions. In the early 1800s, women were considered inferior to men. And the word inferior here tells us or helps us understand that women were considered below men. Okay, we have 2 words that we need to know. We have the word inferior, and we can also have the word superior. Okay, and inferior refers to when someone is lower in rank. Okay, so here I'm going to put some Lucy Stone notes that we need to take. All right, if you're going to to write in your notebook. Have your notebooks open, okay, so that we can take notes together and understand the story. All right. So here in the stage directions, the first thing that we know that here the stage directions have provided the setting, which is we know that we're in Massachusetts. All right. In the 1800s, all right, we know that when women were considered inferior, all right, to men. And here the word inferior is what we need to understand. It's a very good vocab word to know that it meant to be below, all right, or they're less privileged, all right, they're not equal, okay. So here the state directions are important to help us understand the position of women during that time. Women did not enjoy the rights they have today, such as the right to vote. It was difficult for them to get an education. So, all these are the struggles that women went through at the time, okay? And it's very important to also build a good background for us. But times were starting to change. Women began to go to college. They also began to organize to demand more equality. Okay, so women were starting to get a voice to be heard. Okay, so women were disadvantaged. All right, what are some of the things that women couldn't do? All right, women, can someone just tell me again what are some of the things that women could not do? Abdurrahman Subh, can you tell me what women couldn't do?
Go to college.
Good, women could not go to college. What else?
Mm,
They couldn't vote.
Okay, good job, Yahman. All right, women couldn't vote. What else did women are not able to do? How about Hannah? Hannah Naqib, can you please tell me what else did women couldn't do? Were women able to vote?
No.
So Hannah, please tell me, women women were not. Say it.
We're
We're not allowed to do what?
able to vote.
Good job. All right, women were not allowed to vote.
They
So
said that in the bullet point above it.
oh, well, we said already allowed to vote, allowed to own property. How about that? All right. Thanks, Ahmed, for pointing that out for us. For being repetitive. Thank you. All right. So here the playwright gives us a good background for how women were disadvantaged. All right. But here the playwright also mentions that things were going to change. All right. And how were things going to change? Things were going to become better. Why? Because again, women are starting to become more aware of themselves and their situation, and they're demanding more rights. All right, so here we're going to see how women that stands up for other women. Okay, so this is an image of a girl. All right, we can tell by the way that she is standing. What is she holding? Adam,
Books.
what is she holding in her hand? Adam, Fahla, please.
he is holding a book.
Good. She's holding books in her hand. What can this help us understand? Her need for what?
That
That he is
she
studying.
needs to go to school.
Okay. Adam, can you say
She
it? I
wants
couldn't
to
hear
go
you.
She need to go to school, and she was studying with herself.
Good. All right. So here it shows that Lucy Stone is craving an education. She wants to go to school. And of course, we could tell also that her face and the way that she's looking into the future, right? She's looking ahead and she looks very determined. Okay. Like she wants to get something done. Okay. Now, this is a conversation that we're going to see between a man and two women and a man, and they're not characters in the story; they're just narrators. Okay, so they're not. But however, the conversation between them is significant. Okay, so the first woman is going to be, please, let's go with Judy. Okay, Judy, are you here? Who's available to read?
Me.
Okay, Ibrahim,
Me.
you're going. Okay, Tala, you're going to be the first woman. Ibrahim, you're going to be the man.
Okay.
The second woman, can we have Maryam or Marwa? Who's available? Any volunteers? All right, Zaina. Okay, Zaina, we're gonna have you the second woman. Okay, so before Rise, two women wearing shabby farm clothing with aprons. Remember how we said this is the 1800s? So women are the way that they dress is different, okay, than how they dress now, and they wore shabby farm clothing. They were working on a farm, and followed by a man wearing somber clothes of the early 1800s. So we can tell that the man is dressed better than the women. The women are dressed in shabby clothes. And what did we say the word shabby meant? Shabby means what? Something that is, in good condition or worn out.
Is weathered.
Good job. It's right. It doesn't look like it's in the best condition. However, the man is wearing somber clothes of the early 1800s. All right. So, and this is, by the way, called visualization, and we're gonna discuss visualization tomorrow. All right. When we this is written. This is a written play, but the author or the playwright gives us a lot of details to help us visualize. And what do I mean by visualize? I mean by to draw or paint an image um, of the details, all right, in your mind, because again, plays are meant to be seen. Plays are meant to be seen, and here we do not see them. So what we have to do is we have to visualize them. Okay, so we have to visualize them, and this is what visualization is. Okay, so let's continue. The first women, please go ahead.
We come from the shadows of time to remind you, men and women both, of how things used to be.
So we can tell here that the first woman is talking to the audience, directing her words to the audience. So she's telling the audience that we come, speaking of herself and the other woman and the man, that we come from the shadows of time. That means we come from back in history. Okay, men and women both, to remind you or to show or to remind the character, remind the audience of the struggles of the past or how things used to be, all right, for women, because of course things have changed. Okay, second women, continue.
If the world is a better place for women now, it is because of the courage and persistence of one young girl, Lucy Stone.
Good job. So the second woman here is identifying the purpose of the play. All right, she's saying that we owe Lucy Stone a lot because she's responsible for changing the world today and for making it a better place. Okay, especially for women. All right. So here, the first woman and the second woman have provided that for us so far. And remember, they're directing their words to the audience. Okay, back to the first woman, Tala.
In the early 19th century, when Lucy was growing up, girls weren't educated beyond the sixth grade.
Good. All right. So again, they're building on more history. They're telling the audience that back then, in the old days, women were not, or girls were, they stopped attending school at sixth grade. So all the girls that are with us now in the chat or on Zoom would not be with me. To, if this is still back in the day, because last year would have been your last year of school. All right. And from now on, it would be for you to stay home and handle house chores and even work on the farm and do all these physical labor and basically with no education. All right. So again, this is what the first woman is reminding the women about. All right, that women were not allowed to get an education past grade six. All right, second woman,
A
Tina.
husband had the legal right to beat his wife.
Good. All right, this is called domestic abuse. All right, and
Domestic
domestic,
violence.
yes, and violence, right? Okay, because again, men and women, a man, a husband, and they call them wife beaters. Okay, and they were actually legally accepted to beat his wife. All right, women could not complain if a husband beat her because it was normally and socially accepted. All right, first woman.
and women had no legal rights.
Good. So if a woman goes to the police and complain that her husband hasn't beat her, they would not have any legal rights. Okay, because it was just normally accepted. Okay. Now, man, go ahead, Ibrahim, and remember, Ibrahim, you're talking vehemently. What does vehemently mean? Vehemently means that you're talking in a very uh, passionate and angry kind of way. All right, so you're kind of like upset. All right. So go ahead, Ibrahim. Education. Okay. So you're angry that these women are asking for an education. Go ahead, Ibrahim.
Education, legal rights for a woman, never. Why? They are the inferior sex. A woman must be subservient
Servient.
to her subservient to her husband in all things.
It was.
It was ever
Thus.
thus and shall always be so. Subject closed.
Good. All right. So here the man. This is what is the purpose of the man in this early introduction of the play? To
To
show,
show how men
think.
used to treat women.
Good job, ya Muhammad. Perfect. Muhammad Walid, you are awesome. Good job. All right. So the purpose here from the conversation between women and the man is number one, the women have given us a good historical background of how things were difficult for women and how women were underprivileged. Okay. And here, the man's attitude is very significant to the beginning of the play because just like Muhammad said, it's helping us understand exactly how the men attitude back then, how all men thought. They thought that women had to be subservient to her husband, and subservient means to serve them and to be under their control, and you have to agree to everything your husband tells you. All right, if your husband tells you to do anything, you must obey. Okay, you cannot sound your opinion. You cannot have your own opinion about anything. And this is how men thought women should be. They should be just like something that they own. Okay, and again, just like the man, he said education and legal rights for women, never. Okay, so men thought that women did not deserve to have such rights. Okay, second woman.
Subject closed until Lucy Stone.
First woman. Tala.
Lucy Stone, champion of women's rights.
Ibrahim.
Lucy Stone, she's nothing but an agitator,
Agitator again.
agitator,
Good. Disturb.
agitator, a disturber of the natural order.
Good. All right. So the women are reminding the man, or reminding the audience that, of course, everything was expected to go as men would like it to go until people like Lucy Stone or Lucy Stone came in the picture and changed how women or how things around the world. And here the man is referring to her as an agitator, and an agitator is someone who disturbs the peace or starts issues or starts to cause problems in the normal way of life. So men expected things to just go as naturally, and they considered people like Lucy Stone to be agitators or troublemakers. Okay, because they changed the world and they caused some disturbances to the natural way of life that they were living. Okay.